What happens during the sentencing phase of a criminal case? Imagine you've just sat through a long trial, and now it's time for the final step. The moment where the court decides what punishment fits the crime. That's what the sentencing phase is all about. After a defendant is found guilty or pleads guilty, the judge steps in to determine the appropriate penalty. This part of the process is where the law meets the facts of the case to decide how to hold the defendant accountable. The judge has the main say in this phase. They use their discretion to choose a sentence based on the law, the details of the crime, and information from both sides. Before making a decision, a probation officer often prepares a report called a pre-sentence report. This report gives the judge details about the defendant's background, criminal history, and personal circumstances. It might also include recommendations for sentencing. Both the prosecution and the defense get a chance to speak during this phase. The prosecution usually suggests a sentence, often guided by legal rules or agreements made earlier. The defense, on the other hand, can ask for leniency. They might highlight the defendant's remorse, efforts at rehabilitation, or personal hardships to argue for a lighter punishment. In many cases, the judge looks at sentencing guidelines. These are structured rules that suggest ranges of punishment based on the type of crime and the defendant's past record. While judges often follow these guidelines, they can also decide to go outside them if they believe it's justified. The goal is to find a punishment that fits the crime and the individual. Sentences can take many forms. The judge might sentence someone to prison, probation, or fines. Sometimes they order restitution to victims or requiring community service or participation in rehabilitation programs. The judge's decision depends on what's appropriate for the case. In capital cases, where the death penalty is a possibility, the jury might decide separately whether to impose the death sentence. But in most cases, the judge makes the final call on the punishment. This phase is very important because it's the last chance for the defendant to influence the outcome after being convicted. Defense attorneys play a key role here. They try to present reasons why their client should receive the least severe punishment possible. They might argue that the defendant shows remorse or has taken steps toward change. Sometimes, they negotiate plea deals before sentencing to try to reduce penalties. Understanding how the judge exercises discretion and what factors influence sentencing can help the defense craft effective arguments. Overall, the sentencing phase is a balanced process. It considers the facts, the law, and arguments from both sides to decide on a fair punishment. It's the final step in the criminal trial that aims to serve justice while giving the defendant a chance for a more favorable outcome.